The all Big Ten teams have been released. First, second, and third team. We're breaking down all the awards today. We have four players that were unanimously coaches and media first team all Big Ten selections. Braden Smith, the player of the year, John Tonji, Bryce Williams, Trey Kaufman-Renn, and then Derek Queen won the coaches all Big Ten award. Vlad Golden won the media all Big Ten award. Those guys flip-flopped for the second team. So one of them was first team, one of them was second team. And then Bruce Thornton, Dawson Garcia, Nick Martinelli, and Danny Wolf were second team selections. To our third team, where we find Kasparis Yakashonis, Jacoby Gillespie, Jace Richardson, Jaden Akins, Nate Biddle, Jackson Shellstad, Tyler Bilodeau, Ace Bailey, and Dylan Harper. Those that ended up being more than five because there was a huge split. Only Jace Gillespie and Yakashonis were represented from coaches and media. Everybody else got votes either from just the coaches or just the media for third team all Big Ten. A lot of takeaways we could go with here, Cart. First off, do you feel that in general they did a pretty good job with these teams?
I think in general they did some pretty good jobs on these teams. I do think that there's a couple guys that I think got snubbed from all Big Ten that we could talk about. And one of my initial reactions is why is there so much Oregon representation on this list, given where they're at? But for the most part, I think that it was pretty good, pretty well done.
Yeah. Okay. What's your biggest gripe?
Mm. See, all gripes are sometimes created equal. So I think let me make sure I got my gripes in order here. Are we just talking Big Ten, just first team, second team, third team?
Yeah.
Okay, because my biggest gripes with the defensive team, if we're really going to get into it, but we won't touch on that. Um, but I think my biggest gripe eh, might be Blackwell being left off. I thought he was really good in conference play. I thought he could have been on over some of the other guys. Like I get the Rutgers guys were incredible. Dylan Harper missed a bunch of games though, and Oregon wasn't that great. And it just doesn't seem like Wisconsin only getting one player, given the productivity that they had out of those major two players and Tanji and Blackwell. That Blackwell didn't make the list.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I feel like Blackwell's the biggest snub as well for me. Wisconsin was really good and to only get one player on I mean, how many were there? 19 guys here. Blackwell's definitely a top 19 guy in the conference. Little surprised Bilodeau got there. He's been good, but I guess you got to represent somebody from UCLA on here. I Kasparis being the only Illinois representative and on the third team. Does that feel right? I mean, this team obviously wasn't great and had a lot of injuries, but like they finished what, top six, top seven in this league? It's not like they were a bad basketball team. And I think, I don't know, Ivisic has a gripe. Will Riley's been playing really good. He ended up winning six man of the year, but even with Kasparis, like not a top 10 player in the league. Does that feel right?
I mean, well, how are you looking at it? Are you looking at it as him as a top 10 player? Are you looking at it as the players that were voted in front of him?
Looking at Bruce Thornton in front of him,
Yeah, I knew I was trying to get you to go there.
I'm definitely looking at Bruce Thornton in front of him. There's not one second that I could breathe on this planet that I would rather have Bruce Thornton than Kasparis Yakushonis.
There might be a couple. Do you think it has anything to do with Kasparis missing games or anything like that, or the stretch that he struggled?
Maybe, but can we look at Ohio State's team struggles? Like
Yeah,
I just you can
but
ding any team, any player that you want here.
but this is all Big Ten teams here, though. Like this is team success does play a small part of it, but you look at what Bruce Thornton has done. I don't think you can argue with Bruce Thornton's stats.
How many games did Kasparis miss?
Oh, it was like a miss slash hurt. Like he
So
was hurt for a
he missed
stretch,
he missed two games.
but he was also
Come
playing bad when
on.
he got hurt.
He's a top 10 player in the league, man. Even looking at my guy, Danny Wolf, I would take Kasparis over Danny Wolf. So
That'd be fine, but I'm not taking. I think I would still put Bruce Thornton on the second. Like they should both be there. Bruce Thornton
yeah,
and Kasparis should both be there, if anything.
I guess. Derek Queen, Vlad Golden. The coaches voted Queen, the media voted Golden. How do you break down that flip?
I think that's the back and forth between people trying to give Vlad giving Vlad success credit to Danny, and then people realizing that Danny did do a lot for Vlad. It makes sense that it was split because I feel like people have a hard time deciphering like, do we give Vlad his credit? Which I think they should, because honestly, Vlad, though a lot of it is Danny being like setting him up. I think over this stretch of games, even though necessarily you guys haven't played well, won games, a lot of it has been like throw it down to him and he's going to get you a bucket. Like he's making moves and he's he has the hook, the left to right hook, the drip. Like he's been backing people down. He's not just catching and dunking, though he is doing that on top of it. But it makes sense. I think once I got to the end of it, I have Vlad ahead of Danny, and I think Vlad's deserving.
It makes sense to me that there's a split with these two because I think it's extremely close. Now, Derek Queen ended up being the freshman of the year. We talk about the all freshman team in a second too, but I just find it funny. Like, okay, the coaches chose the freshman, the media chose the senior. Normally, I would think that's the opposite. Normally, coaches kind of honor guys that have been there a little
Yeah.
bit. To me, this tells me coaches hate Vlad Golden. Not in
But
a way that like it's crazy that they picked Queen over him, but like if one of the two was going to vote for Vlad, the coaches that probably don't find him incredibly annoying for all the flopping, it makes sense that they would respect Queen more than Golden.
do you think coaches hold that type of stuff when it comes to this? Like I know
Abs-
Hurley came out earlier and he's like, "Yeah, I'm not voting for Caleb Love. I'll tell you that right now."
Absolutely, I do. Yeah,
Which
I
coach do you think hold the most gripes out of this conference against another player?
I think there's a few. I'm not going to name any names.
Oh, I want names.
I think there's a few.
Okay.
Um, all freshman team quickly. We'll lump that into this. We have, let me find the graphic of this. Derek Queen was the freshman of the year. And then Dylan Harper, Ace Bailey, Jace Richardson, and Kasparis Yakashonis also represented on the all freshman team. That really means John Mobley and Wesley Yates were the two left off, which feels right to me, I think.
That feels right, given the success to those teams ahead of them. And look, Derek Queen was first team. Was he media and coaches or just media?
He was just coaches.
Just coaches. Yeah, like you said, with the freshmen. If he's gonna be first team all Big Ten, I don't think you can argue with the fact that he's Big Ten freshman of the year. Like that makes sense. And I also think they got the other guys right on here. Jace is on there, obviously. Kasparis is on there. And then you have the two Rutgers guys. That makes sense to me.
Yeah. Okay. I agree. I think all in all they did a pretty good job. TKR unanimous first team. That surprised you at all?
No, I don't think so. Not given his production this year.
By the end of the year he got there. Yeah.
Yeah. So the unanimous guys were Tanji, Smith, TKR.
Tanji Williams, TKR Smith.
Were you surprised at all that Williams was
No, he was stellar.
he was stellar this year, but like Nebraska,
He was stellar. Wasn't any his fault. He was that good.
yeah, okay, I'm good with that.